Welcome to the second episode of Change Your Thinking, Change Your Life. I am your host, Elma Canfield. And when we last met, I told those of you who were listening or viewing that I would tell you about myself. To do this, I'd like to enlist your help and ask you to close your eyes and take a deep breath. Imagine that you are seated in an audience in a small performance hall in New York City. It is the mid 20th century, and you are awaiting the performance of a young singer. Settled in your seat with your coats off, as it is winter, and a cold one at that. And in your hand is a flimsy playbill. Are you there? Okay. The small hall darkens as the young woman steps onto the stage. A single cone of light falls gently, deliberately, just for her. She hears the rustling of papers, the creaking chairs, the soft coughs, perhaps coming from you. But louder than all of that, she hears the voices in her head. What if I chose the wrong music? Do they like the way I look? God, I hope I won't disappoint them. Will my voice be what they expect? Now she takes a deep breath, tapping the tempo of her first aria with her fingers on her green velvet gown. And then, as her music begins, she lifts her chin toward the exit life at the back of the hall. The young woman opens her carefully painted mouth and produces silence. Nothing comes out. What are you thinking? That young woman was me. My stage name was Elma Lynn's. Ever since childhood, my dream was to live in New York City, attend the Juilliard School, and sing at the Metropolitan Opera. At 18, I did move to Manhattan, but studied at the neighborhood playhouse, too fearful to audition for Juilliard. I performed off-Broadway and did some summer stock. My parents were pleased with me, and performing, I thought I had died and gone to heaven. But heaven was not exempt from the cruelty of show business. During my playhouse audition, the director said, "Elma, you have such potential, but your last name is too Jewish to go up in lights. You want to be marketable, don't you?" Desperate to live up to everything she saw in me, I dropped my too Jewish surname, Levy, and took my middle name, Lynn's. Elma Lynn's. I'd have done anything. Proving myself was a challenge. In those early months at the Playhouse, other students, children of famous theater people, would fall silent when I walked into the bathroom. Two refused to partner with me in scene work. I think they knew that I was an imposter. But on the whole, I put on a pretty good performance. The faculty was pretty struck with my improv abilities. That was easy. However, as far as my scene work, I was simply trying to impress. I knew that I wasn't getting inside the characters that I was assigned. I knew that I didn't know how to climb into each role and express who each character was and how each character felt. Yet somehow I had fooled my teachers as they responded with approval. However, their praise also caused me to think badly about myself. And then came that night when my entire world crumbled around me. The night I literally could not make a sound. All that fraudulent potential, all that sought after approval, gone. I was ashamed, devastated. At 18 years of age, I thought I was eternally defeated. Welcome once again to Change Your Thinking, Change Your Life. For the last 45 years, I have been a specialist in the psychology for performing artists, the creator and founding director of the counseling services at the Juilliard School, a psychotherapist and life coach, one of the only private practices exclusive to actors, dancers, musicians, and vocal artists from all ages and stages of their lives and careers, originator and facilitator of performance potential masterclasses for performing artists, leader of a Zoom pro bono psychotherapy group for performers already in my practice who could not work during COVID and for which has continued for the last 5 years. An author of Hamlet's Mirror, a compilation of my work. From shame, devastation, and thoughts of everlasting defeat after the performance that you just witnessed. How? How did I become this specialist? I changed my thinking. Sounds easy, but I assure you it wasn't. As I tell you more, you will see that I had a long, long way to go. Elma Lins quit the Playhouse and fled back to her hometown in the Midwest, back to St. Louis. This time she thought, I will not fail. This time I will live like everybody else. She married, had 2 beautiful sons. Yet she began to realize you can change your zip code. You can change your environment, but you cannot escape what happens inside. Her silenced voice was still so loud that she began seeing a psychiatrist who diagnosed her with an adjustment disorder. He then offered advice. All you have to do, Elma, is settle into your life. Accommodate. Just adjust. And she remembered thinking, adjust? Adjust to what? She was doing what everybody else does, what everyone expected of her. She also wondered why he never asked or talked about her silenced voice. So she talked to herself about her silenced voice. She thought about her childhood and realized that her love of performing was realized. Her love was really about recognition, approval, praise, the sense of being special, as she lacked the temperament, the discipline, and the stamina to be a performing artist. Elma contradicted Stanislavski's words. Instead of loving the art in herself, she loved herself in the art. Thankfully, years later, some of the most life shaping thoughts of her life came to her. How she was performing one thing was how she was performing everything, everywhere and anywhere. That young woman on the stage of New York, the one who opened her mouth to produce silence, didn't just lose her voice in that moment. She had been silent in every aspect of her life, adjusting to any role anyone wanted her to play. A breakthrough thought. And when she changed that thought, Elma Linz changed her life, retiring the role of silent self and adjusted to being herself. Elma Linz also thought that her voice hadn't just disappeared, that her voice hadn't just vanished. She thought, I hadn't allowed my voice to be silent. I had let others control my voice. And when she changed that voice, she reclaimed her agency. She was no longer silent. Elma Linz voiced her own thoughts to shape her own life. And that, we know, made her a true artist. She thought about her own values, values that have a great deal of meaning to me today, values that I choose to shape the way I live today. Contribution, authenticity, connection, curiosity, creativity, gratitude, excellence, and vulnerability. And maybe the greatest, fearlessness. And there it was. Maybe I should be grateful to that doctor for his total inability to understand or even wonder about Elma Linz's silent voice. His limited thinking gave her the opportunity to change her thinking and shape her own life. He also made possible her initial thinking about performance potential. She had reached her performance potential, and it wasn't on the stage. It was on the stage of her life. Elma Linz's thinking would shape the rest of her career and the rest of my life. Next on Change Your Thinking, Change Your Life, I will tell you how I voiced her thinking to shape my life today. To listen or watch, do go to my website, Elma Linz Canefield, and subscribe. So, until we are together again, I am Elma Linz Canefield, So looking forward to continue sharing my story with you.